Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where you make long and short-term investing simple. And what a beautiful day to be a swing trader or a day trader, because there are so many opportunities in the market today, which is just insane. I don't recall a day like this in a very long time, where we've had so much price action going on in longs and in shorts, and also with a lot of volume and a lot of volatility as well. So that's great. If you're a day trader, you're looking for that volatility there to get these really quick and really precise and very smooth moves, either to the upside or the downside. And let me show you one trade that we did end up closing today. Now, I'm not an S&P trader. However, I find that a lot of the big indexes, such as the S&P, such as the Dow Jones, such as the NASDAQ, they all kind of move in the same shape here. And if you can't see something on one of the indexes, you can take a look at the others for confluence and try to see if there's any puzzle pieces that can try to fit together and kind of create a narrative for the future. So this is what I'm looking at here. S&P, we can see that we had a lot of volume here and a lot of very nice movement. This is a very, very sharp angle as well. Coming up very fast, we're starting to lose that momentum slowly. Now, what I'm seeing here is that we had a bit of a stall out here where we were stuck in this range. We broke out, not with a lot of force though, and then we started to get some very weak patterns here. A very weak candle that couldn't close any higher than the previous high, and then this shooting star here. So that being said, I can take a look at the SPY and I can say, okay, you know what? I think that this will translate to the NASDAQ. And I think from here, we can get a pullback in the NASDAQ. And again, I like to trade NASDAQ. I could have done the same position on the S&P, but I find that NASDAQ has a little bit more volatility, and that's what I love as a day trader. So this is what happened today. We closed out red, which is exactly what I thought. And this is the trade that I let all the Discord members know about. And it looks exactly like this. We placed our trade right before midnight. And after this, we saw that, and this is what I'm thinking here. I'm seeing that we have this very impulsive move to the upside, which you could kind of call as a sweep of liquidity, a double tap here or a double top, and then we start to move down a little bit lower. Now, I think that this is going to be the higher wick of the day, thinking that this is a bearish day, kind of on the same lines of like a power of three kind of thing or a turtle soup kind of thing. And then we get this nice flush to the downside here, and really at 9:30, that's when you see a lot of sellers come to the market and just start to push things a whole lot down. So what I did here, placed a trade there, let it run. I woke up at 9:30 to a very, very nice candle closure over here, a very nice position closure, and we closed right at the previous low of day here for a nice, let's see, 0.64% after our leverage. Ends up being 5.76%. So that was a fantastic trade there. And if you are interested in getting all these trades that I take, and you're interested in becoming how to be a profitable day trader, come take a look at that link in description, wap.com/tmpfinance. You're going to get all the trades I take in real time, percentage risk allocation, take profits and stop losses, and a lot more like free one-on-one sessions. So do take a look at the link in description there. But right now, for my predictions for the NASDAQ, what am I kind of expecting now? I think that the NASDAQ is starting to roll over a little bit, and I think we can start to make a new lower high. And what that could be apparent as, it could be something like this, where we come all the way from up here and we start to retest these lower levels down below. I'm thinking about this lower level again at 22,900, and this is a very safe one. If we can hold this area over here, I think we can come down all the way back to 22,100 and retest this previous all-time high that we had. And then from there, I think we'll definitely move up. But this all-time high is going to get retested in the future. Doesn't need to be in the next week. Doesn't need to be in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. Could be whenever. But 100% guarantee that price will definitely come back and retest this price over here. Let's take a look at the other stocks in the market here. If we take a look at the heat map here, it was a very red day. However, there's still a lot of green to be made if you're playing the markets correctly. Google has been very strong. Apple, on the one day that everything's down, Apple seems to be going up, so go figure. But let's just take a look at those stock positions there. Again, I think the market is starting to roll over a little bit. Nothing into anything concerning. Don't let people try to fool you by showing you what the chart looked like in 2008 versus what it looks like now. That's just absolute rubbish, and that's just fear-mongering at that point. But let's fast forward into these stocks over here and take a look into a deeper analysis. So over here, this is one stock I've been looking at here, Pepsi. Ever since, let's see here, and Pepsi had an all-time high back in 2023, and it's been pulling back ever since. Nothing too aggressive, but in the past for the history, just take a look at Pepsi's past here. And just take a look at all these green earnings here. Pepsi's been incredibly strong, and it's very apparent when you zoom into the chart here. A lot of growth here, a lot of growth ever since decades. This is decades going back where we're getting a lot of growth here. And I think that right now, Pepsi is still going to be making these new higher highs. And I think just like as before, it's apparent where you have downtrends here, it's the exact same thing. Exact same thing, it's going to recover in my opinion. That's the best odds that it will recover. And right now what I'm seeing to give confirmation is going to be a break of this falling resistance line over here. And if we zoom in, we can see that we had this fake out. I didn't buy here just because this is very aggressive and we had this very big gap here. But now I am placing my position here for a nice 5.37 risk reward ratio. I do believe we can actually come up to see all-time highs, but if you're looking for a very safe trade for a day trade, come take a look at that take profit level at 176.50. I think that's a very good level here. Reason being is because we have a resistance line that goes along here and a lot of volume that collects here. So I think this could be a very big spot for institutions to take profit for. And then our stop loss is right below at the swing low there. If you do want to try and keep it a little bit more of a long-term position, what you can do, stop loss right at the bottom over here, and then your take profit right at some new all-time highs. Something like this. I think it's very possible, and you have a very nice risk reward ratio still. Let's take a look at Berkshire Hathaway, another stock that's starting to break up. And Berkshire has been having this pullback, and it's been a very mild pullback. On the days that we do form red candles, it really hasn't been by much. Like, this is probably the biggest red candle that we've had, and that was at 5% pullback. But aside from that, this is probably the second biggest one, and it's only 1.66%. So it's nothing too crazy. Right now, I'm starting to see a sentiment shift in Berkshire Hathaway. So very simple. Stop loss at the swing low. Take profit at all-time high. Berkshire is constantly making these higher highs, and I think that this is not going to be any more different than what it typically is. So I think we're going to be making some new all-time highs here. Now, what you can expect for Berkshire as well, if we don't hold this position and we do get stopped out, do take a look at a touch of this down support line over here to the downside. I think that we can get a very nice retest there, break out of this trend line if we rejoin it, and then exit out for some new all-time highs as well. And let's take a look at our final stock for today, AMD. This has been a stock that I've been extremely bullish about ever since April. And what we can see here is ever since I told you to go buy AMD, this is what you're looking for here. We would have placed our trade right about here. And our take profit is still going to be at, well, it was at 170 previous. We're currently 62% up in our position. And I think that there's still a lot more upside. Before I was talking about taking profit at 170, and I think that we can actually increase that a lot to 180 now. I do believe that AMD could possibly make all-time highs. There's a lot of, there's a huge market in China that is looking to sub for AMD chips instead of nvidia, and I think that that's going to be fantastic for AMD's revenue. So I do believe that we will start to make these higher highs here, and I think that 180 is very possible, and it's also quite in line with some previous resistance that we've had in the past. But AMD is looking super strong. Even on this huge pullback, we moved down a total of 4.5%, and then we recovered to only coming down a total of 1.45. So AMD is showing a lot of strength there, and I think that right now this is definitely a time to hold your positions and not sell until further notice, until we see a real big threat in the market. So keep holding on to those winning positions there. Don't cut your take profits too short, and just let your positions run until you have real confirmation to close them. And if you are looking to become a better trader and you're looking to become a profitable trader, come take a look at the link in the description, wap.com/tnp-finance. And then from there, we're currently beating the market for just the NASDAQ alone by about 176%. And I'll put that on the screen just to reconfirm. And then for our stock trades, we're currently up about 20%. And that's for the closed ones. I mean, we have lots of positions that are open that are in the green right now, such as Apple, such as Intel, such as AMD, such as Dogecoin, and so many others, such as Oscar as well. And let's just take a quick look at Oscar here. That's one stock that I also wanted to look over as well. And Oscar, we had a beautiful green day at 8%. I think that we came back, touched support. We're going to come back and touch resistance there. But moral of the story, so many great trades to be taken advantage of and a lot of money to be made. So to keep your eyes open, and the best way is going to be having me to do your analysis for you. So do take a look at that. But that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Thank you very much for joining in, and I'll see y'all later. Later, y'all.